Hello, Art Fam. This is Nadine. I'm here with Don Stevens. Happy Sunday. How are you feeling today? It's good to be back in the States. I hope you're all doing well. Missed you all. Have you been creating? I'm sure you have because you've been alive. I'm walking about this earth. Um, I just want to say hello. How are you doing? If you're seeing this right now, leave a comment in the comment section. Tell us how you are doing. I'm doing pretty good, feeling blessed. I had a little bit of fun while I was away. I was in Stockholm, took a few pictures. Mostly I relaxed and tried different foods. Had a little bit of an allergic reaction, but all is well. It wasn't that bad. It was just itchy. I think the culprit was, I don't know if you call it prawn. I had some prawn, really big ones. And after I ate it, I felt a little itchy, a lot itchy. Um, but anyway, you are here at Let's Paint and Draw Along, and we've been over the past month or two focusing on creating something from nothing and how amazing that is because you're just pulling from your memory, your brain, and whatnot. So, um, yeah. Hey, Don, how are you doing?
I'm fine. Everything's going well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm looking at this wonderful, wonderful a picture. It's really intense, or should I say, piece of art that you have created that you have in front of us.
Yeah.
Um,
Who
is
is
this
it?
your latest,
Who is
greatest?
who is it?
I want to say James Earl Jones.
And you are correct. That's the correct.
Yes. And um, I was just thinking, I have tried to draw other people, and I mean, I guess it's just a matter of practice makes perfect to really capture the essence of a person, whereas then they can see it and say, yep, that's him. And
No,
I think, hmm,
no, no, because if you follow line, shape, form, light, and surface, you can do it. So I don't know what your problem is.
well, I guess I'm just talking about the past. Since I've known you, I haven't tried to draw somebody like a real person that other people would recognize and say, "Oh yeah, that's such and so. That's Superman or whatever."
Uh, you dwelling still in your perfectionist mode. That's what happens to you. You're not
Yeah. Well,
you're
I
not
haven't done it lately. So,
you're fully digesting the idea of line, shape, form, light, and surface. That's
hmm
it.
hmm
If you do that, you can do it. I'm telling you, that's it.
Well,
You
I can
you know
say I would
you're
say
not
job.
really
Hmm.
you're not taking that method in enough. You're not taking it in to be able to really digest it, to really pull it apart and strip your perfectionist modes away.
Hmm.
That's the problem. That's the battle.
It is the battle, y'all.
That's why I'm the advocate of that. I'm the
It's
advocate of, hey, um, I don't believe in practice. I believe in repetition. Repetition and practice is two different things.
hmm
Repetition means that you're going to do it regardless of what state of being you're in or what state or you're in or what location you're in.
hmm
Practice means now you got to set up a whole location. It has to be, everything has to be in a certain place in order for you to practice what it is that you're doing.
hmm
If you look into it the way that I'm suggesting, you can do this anywhere you're at. If you use a creative visualization, when you're looking at something, you'll be able to download what it is to draw or to have that formal idea of that item. And then when you get back or get a piece of paper or a pen in your hand, loose leaf paper, it doesn't matter. You can start drawing it out. But you have to be free of perfection because that is the lie. Perfection is perception. You're only doing things at a high rate of time so that when you do it once in front of everybody, it seems or is perceived as being a perfect action.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. Mm-hmm.
That's all it is, y'all.
It is. We make too much of it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then when we do, we have these high expectations. Those high expectations are not met. Then the person stops creating.
Yeah.
I'm an advocate of keeping you creating.
Yeah.
You creating a constant flow of creative opportunity or challenge.
Right.
Look at every day as a creative opportunity.
Yeah.
It's not just things you make up, but it's the things that you have around you to do something from nothing. Doesn't have to be memory. You can take areas in your house and make it into something from nothing. You can take whatever's in your pocket, drop it on the floor, or drop it in front of you, and do something from nothing.
Yeah.
You know, that's the whole key to it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
sure, some people have ambitions of wanting to sell their artwork. Yeah, some people have these ambitions of being absolutely perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But what's going to get you to that point, that perceived point of perfection, is the challenges of the journey, the
Mm-hmm.
challenge of the repetition, the challenges of can you see this in your everyday?
Mm.
You know,
Yeah.
irregardless of what's going on, that's repetitive, impulsive movements.
Mm-hmm.
Practice and homework, those ideas are good, yeah, but it puts you in a certain frame of mind, I believe.
Right.
So that's why I prefer the term repetition,
Mm-hmm.
because it seems more like a job than it seems more like it has a purpose. I got to do this.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, oh, well, you know, it's practice. Maybe I can skip practice today. I can train a little bit harder tomorrow. No, for certain things, you know, for certain things, it pushes past just that notion of just practice and homework and pushes into the impulsive, the repetition. Because then it's like you're able to do whatever it is that you know, put into that mode.
Mm-hmm.
You put it into an automatic mode.
Yeah, it's getting to that automatic mode.
Yeah, everybody wants to. That's the
Mm-hmm.
ultimate goal of every human being that does it. Then this is where the anticipation or the high expectations kick in. Because some
Mm-hmm.
people start to say, I wanted to look like a photograph. Then that's when I suggest, well, maybe you shouldn't shoot for that right at first. Maybe you should just shoot for having something on the page that's
Mm-hmm.
functional, that maybe makes observable sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially like now. That's why I was leading towards a something from nothing, from pulling something out of your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
What's in your pocket? Keys, tissue. But you may have to challenge that now. Because in
Mm-hmm.
the era of the digital era, you pretty much just have your phone either in your pocket or on your hip. Some people have a wallet still. Every now and then, well, I walk around with bills in my pocket and coins, but most people don't, I find, because of the tap and go era.
Yeah, it's so true.
Mhm.
Right
So then,
now, I don't have any pockets.
oh, you see,
So,
so then you would have to go with a designated area in your room or in the vicinity in front of you if it was
mm-hmm.
that idea.
Yeah.
You see, because then that way you're taking an area in your room and we'll say, okay, instead of let's making it look like it's absolutely what it is, why not
Mm-hmm.
use spaces in between to make a drawing out of that?
Mm-hmm.
Like
When you,
imagine drop a couple of pencils down.
ooh, like picks and sticks. Remember that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That, ooh.
I'm honest, and then you would observe that. Or
Mm-hmm.
if you make up a scene from our something from nothing without having to drop sticks down because for everybody out there, and then people that's going to do this on their own. Well, maybe when people do the rewatch of this, they can do that. They can take some sticks or some pencils and throw them down and use the idea to its fullest. But we're going to use it as far as how can we multiply and add a certain idea in a repetitive way, and then just by changing its movements. You know,
Yeah, how could you?
and then add other items in, that
Right.
may be your pocket. And then just make it up. Or, if you want, you can look at a pair of keys. You should have a pair of keys around you somewhere.
Yeah, actually,
Or if not, mess with keys so much, we know what they look like.
that's true.
We're not trying to make the key that absolutely goes into an absolute lock that absolutely works. We just want to have an expressive quality in a linear sense. See what I mean? Aha, now we got them because it's all pure line.
Pure line.
Yeah, should I do this on the board or should I do this at actual drawing this time around? Because sometimes when I do it on the board, I'm able to do two or three different, representations.
Yes, that's true. I found some keys. I found like a mailbox key
All right.
and
Okay.
a padlock key, I think this is.
Okay. Padlock in that post office box key should be almost the same size, shouldn't they?
One is a little bigger than the other.
Okay.
Let me
Well,
see.
what I'm trying to say is they're not the size of your house key.
Um, one is almost the size of the house key, I would think. Yeah. Well, they're about the same. I'm gonna make it so everyone can see it. There you go.
Yeah, I'm not near the screen. I'm sorry, Nadine.
All right, no problem. This is for everyone else. I have these two keys here. This one on the left is for a mailbox key, and this other one is for like a padlock of some kind. Yeah, or padlock or a bicycle lock. I can't remember.
What's the general shape of it?
One is round. The body of it is round, like a round circle. And then the other one looks like the face of if you were to draw a dog with a happy face with big cheeks.
Too much. So it's like it's like a triangular shape.
No, if you join two circles together and they crossed over, intersected, and then you put another circle above it, and that would have the hole for.
See, I'm not looking at the screen. I'm trying to act like it's charades for a second and see if you will be a good charades person.
Yes, or if you're looking at it, you could also see it as in elephant ears, and the bottom is the tusk of the elephant.
Yeah, pretty
Which
much
is,
triangular.
yeah,
Or
okay.
a curvilinear triangular movement.
Yes.
Yeah, because the different shapes, the different shapes of your keys mean different things. You know that, right?
No.
You didn't know that? Oh,
No.
wow. Well, everybody, just know that. The shape of your key, the part that you turn with, if you notice, if you look at the differences between the shapes, you have a post office box a key, you have a front door key, your car key, a key to a lock, and then you look at the different heads of those keys, they all have a different shape. Like, think about it when you go get keys made, and you're looking, and if you don't pay attention, you won't see it. All the keys on the head part, the part that you turn with when you put your thumb on, all of them have different shapes for different purposes.
Okay.
All of them. Just like the shape of your key. Like I had a Chrysler, then I had a Chevy. The Chrysler key looked like the Chrysler symbol. And then the Chevy key looked like the old school Chevy Exxon a symbol, just the outside edge, like an oval, a rectangular oval.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the key was like. So that's why I'm saying, just, it's another place where you can look and you can say, oh, what symbols or what shapes mean what. So the
Mm-hmm.
next time you go get a key maker, just ask the key maker. You'll get a fun conversation.
Mm. Shapes of keys.
Yeah, because you can't use the same key that you would use for a mailbox for a locker key.
That's true.
It's made out of two different materials too, on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
On purpose, that is, everybody. So that's just another way to segue into symbols and shapes and symbology, like we always talk. From beginning to now, it's still all about line and shape, everybody. And line and shape, if you haven't, how would you say, really looked at it from
Mm-hmm.
our perspective or from the perspective that we're suggesting, is a very powerful thing to human beings. Line and
Mm-hmm.
shape, very important.
Yes.
Think about everything that depends upon line and shape
Mm-hmm.
to make itself seen or make itself part of this world that we live in. Yes, form is everything. Yes, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But, you know what I mean? If you really look at it, line and shape does a whole lot. So
Yeah.
maybe I'll do a combination. I'll take Mr. James Earl Jones down, and that's the beginning stages, everybody, Nadine. I'll bring
Mm-hmm.
it back up so we can talk about it because some people say, wow, how are you able to do them so fast? That's how I know people are using gimmicks, what I call gimmicks, or what some people may say is the golden section, that type of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
using grids and things. Because a lot of times people don't really just sit down and draw anymore. They'll get a grid and they'll have grid paper and want to do something perfect. I
Mm-hmm.
realized they following the photorealist at that point. And then my argument with that is, if you want to do all of that, just take a picture and take it through Photoshop.
Right? Skip
You
all that
know?
other stuff.
Yeah, if that's really your ambition, you got a lot of people that's doing that and is very successful at it right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a viable part of the market right now to be able to manipulate a design program or a photo program and taking images on your own terms. Like for real. People just don't talk about it. But if you really look for it, everybody, even those minuscule pictures that you take on your camera every now and then that you think is insignificant without somebody smiling and laughing in them,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes those would be pretty good pictures if you took them through Photoshop,
Yeah.
manipulate them. Well, Nadine, I know because from what retired from in your career path, you know,
Yeah.
you've seen a lot of that where you take a roll of images, you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and transform into other things based upon editing and timing and things like that.
Right.
You know, I'm not trying to bore everybody, but I'm just trying to, I just like to show the similarities on where art fits in your everyday, whether
Mm-hmm.
you realize it or not. It's still a part. It's a viable and it's an absolute part of the human existence. Is the understanding of creativity.
Mm.
And if you don't, I challenge you. Let's look at it. I don't mind. I'll talk about it. It doesn't have to be a debate, but we can talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and this way I can pull out all my college stuff from when we talked about the pre-Socratics and all this good stuff,
Yeah.
Plato and all this good stuff that people like to bring up now. And now I realize why I paid all that money for those college courses, right?
Mm-hmm.
What philosophy? What was it? Philosophy, intellectual heritage 101. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So we already came down to our notion of what it's going to be, right? We
Yes.
showed some key shapes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to go off a freestyle on this one, then. Maybe I'll switch over to the board after I get some things going over here on the paper. Oh, that's an ugly angle, ain't it? Yeah, that's an ugly angle. Let's move back out here and get it here, and then I'll zoom in. That's a little bit better, right?
Oh,
Hold on. Yeah, that's a little bit better.
yeah.
Zoom in. After that, I'll zoom in. Yeah, there we go. All right. Yeah, I see the keys there that you got there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But look at the shapes and then look at the materials that it's made out of too as well. See the
Yeah.
difference?
It's more like brass
Yep.
and a derivative of silver.
Yeah, it could be aluminum, zinc,
Yeah, it could be aluminum.
alloy like that. You know what I mean? But not the actual silver material anymore like they used to make keys.
Mm-hmm.
Actually be silver, you know what I mean? You know, a lot of younger people don't understand that either. I laugh sometimes, you know. I say, you guys don't understand what the real McCoy is. There's no more real
Just
McCoy.
don't know.
No, they do not know. No more real McCoy. Some of them don't know, you know, what fibers are real or not, you know. So, yeah. So I tell people you don't have to get a college degree to know that. You know what I mean? If I
For
gave you
sure.
gave you linen, you would go towards the linen before you went towards burlap.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't care who you are at that point. You know what I mean? If you can't make the feeling difference between burlap and linen, something's
mhm.
wrong. You may need some help real quick. Ain't that right? No?
Sure enough.
All right.
Speak the facts.
We try best. Just observable facts. That's what we're all about. Things that you actually can absolutely can see in your environment. Once you do that, you've already done your job as a creative person or a creative guide at that point. It's to challenge your visual world and get you to look within it. Yeah. How's that look?
Looking good.
All right. So everybody, now that we did all that conversating, right?
Yeah.
Got to this point now. Now where we're going to talk about different shapes of different basic things that you would have. You said pencils and the spaces in between them. And all I would do is start with one pencil shape possible. Start with it, you know, make an old school #2 pencil, you know, with the red eraser on the top. Yeah, real quick, you see. Don't worry about is it perfect or not. Make your own type of whimsical line shape with it. See that, Nadine?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, what else? You said key shape, so then let's get a key shape on there. I'm just gonna do one off the top of my head that looks pretty much like this. This is pretty much how one of my house keys look. You know, so now you can say we purely using memory now. You see. Yeah, there we go, everybody. Try to remember what your keys look like, especially your home key. Yeah, and oh, hold on, wait a minute. Yeah, there it is. That's how that looked up there for a whole while. I remember now. Because it was hard to get it on the key ring. See that? Do we need something else?
Ooh.
So just think of a key shape, everybody. Think of if I was to pull my keys out of my pocket, I have one or two keys that look just like this. #2 pencils, they've always looked like this. I just didn't put the #2 on the side and the name of the pencil there. But you see where the red eraser would be. Or maybe we do another pencil with the little thimble eraser thing that you put on the cap when that eraser runs out. Can't think of nothing else, Nadine?
I got another one.
I was about to say, why not a paintbrush?
I got my motorcycle key. The one I
Well,
haven't
draw it
ridden.
out. But I was saying, what else can we put on there?
Oh,
You know,
besides keys?
yeah, because if it's your key, then you can take whatever shape your key is and then make another shape. Like I'll do a round one here.
Okay.
That's almost looking like a locker key or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Well, pretty much that's what my PO box key looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much like that. Maybe let's take a house brush or a paintbrush. I want to do a paintbrush. I'm gonna do a regular old paintbrush. Let's see. And then make it a fan tip. No, not a fan tip, but maybe just a flat or a filbert, a long hair filbert. Yeah, there you go. You see? All right, that looks kind of plain, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know. Then imagine if we turned it and then we took the liberty to do it again, replicating our shapes again. So I'll take a pencil and put it behind here, filling in that space. You see?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe make it come out the other side of the key over here. Ooh, God, I can put some of it in the hole right there because it's behind it. You see?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, why not a big house paintbrush? It's a big one. Just let it come out. What does that big wooden paintbrush look like? You know what I mean? With the big old handle. It's a house brush. It's got the metal on it. The fibers come out. It's got some thickness to it now. See what's starting to happen?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll put a key over here. Yeah. Let's put another key somewhere over here. A little bit bigger, oblong round. It almost looks like a car key. Yeah. Just keep it going, everybody. Let it overlap. What else can go in here? Let's see. Really not liking this point of view, but I'll put a longer brush here. Yeah. Maybe turn it again, everybody. That might be upside down to you. How's that look?
Looks good.
All right, so now we upside down, everybody. So see what you can do with negative spaces, the spaces in between, or how intricate can you make those spaces? Or can you make an imagery where things are seen as underneath, not on top?
Mm-hmm.
No cross outs, put it to you that way. We got everything going underneath. You know, I'm gonna put different types of brushes, you know. It'd be like a liner brush. Yeah. Look at how I'm using my line. I'm not worrying about being perfect, everybody. Just worrying about if I can make a nice symbolic, you know, linear equation. Making everything look like it's possibly underneath the next thing. And in this way, now I just keep going now. See how I'm looking at the space and trying to say, okay, where am I going to put that next one at?
Mm-hmm.
After a while, it's going to get a little bit tougher to place them, but you're going to get a lot of interesting things happening from these overlaps, from this diminishing in space of things going down or underneath. And then just from rotating your page here and there. You can
Mm-hmm.
add other ideas in there with some other ideas that you can throw in there, just as basic things like pickup sticks and things like that, ideas that when you throw them down, it really looks like it's a bunch of stuff. But if you're able to look at it and draw it, it really looks really nice.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Let's just put different shapes then. Because you know you definitely would have more round coins or something in your pocket. So we can use a couple of just round shapes. Treat them like they're coins. I'm gonna put them underneath things. You know? Yeah. Yeah. All right. I like the way that's going. Ooh, I like fan brushes too. So let me put a fan brush. Right from so you pretty much can say this is something from nothing based upon the nothingness around you that makes you.
The nothingness that makes you.
Yeah, because if I went in my pocket, you would see coins, you would see keys, you would
Mm-hmm.
see ink brushes, you know what I mean? Why not even put a marker on there? Yeah, put a Sharpie marker shape on. I know everybody knows what that looks like. I know they know what that is. That's a Sharpie all day.
All day long.
Yeah. And these are common shapes that are in your world. It's something from nothing idea. And all I'm doing is just accumulating them underneath things, looking at how the space is going, devising the idea. Once I made up the basic shape, and I'm drawing it out and using it. Now, yeah, it may get to a point where it's overwhelmed and you have to think to yourself, am I done? Or could I add color to it if I wanted to? Things like that, everybody. So we haven't talked color in a long time, but things like this you can add colors to. You can have your color pencils out, or your color marker sets out, or your watercolor set out, and you know, make them all different colors. Play around, have fun, play with different color theories. You know, if you did it 8.5 by 11, scan it into your computer so you can print it out and use it over and over again. Say, for instance, you have kids that come over to your house, you know, you can pull it out and Xerox or copy a couple of them out, throw some crowns out, and then boom, it's a done deal.
It's a done deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see, I'm gonna put some candy wrappers in mine.
Bazooka.
There it is. You see it. And just think about what it looks like, everybody. When it's one of those ones like a taffy or it's twisted in the middle like a bazooka with the paper around it. Yeah, I got mine here. I'm gonna use that one again. I'm gonna use it right here.
Yeah.
So it's like a barrel shape, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll put a little twisty tie idea there. And now I do like the paper is twisted there, you see, on the end. It's basic shapes, everybody. The simplest drawings sometimes will be your most powerful drawings, everyone. If you ever want to think about it. You know, so right now we're upside down. Okay, we turned it to what we turned it 3 times, so we're upside down. I wanted to see what it looked like. Oh, okay, we're not looking too bad. I probably was blocking a lot of the screen. There we go. Now try to lean back more. Yeah, I see where it's at. Okay. Yeah, see the idea, everybody. Using your Sharpie marker, it's still all about that. You know, because remember, the whole series was based upon something from nothing, which is Sharpie drawing. So some of you out there should be real confident to draw without having to draw your pencil marks down. If not, it's still okay to do your penciling in.
I did it with pencil. I started with pencil. Let me go to Sharpie. I'm not scared. I can do it.
Yeah, you have no choice. You know what I mean? Sooner or later, you're going to have to worry about that edge, that line, that mark, how it can change or how is it open freely.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But right now, we're just worried about it being a simplified movement, a symbolic shape of things that might be in your pocket or the things in your nothingness around you that make you something. You know, look around your world. You have pins sitting somewhere in a cup. Just use that fact that those pins are in a cup and then make a basic shape for it. You know, now back in the 80s and 70s, you would say to somebody, hey, what does an ashtray look like? Everybody knew what an ashtray looked like.
Yeah.
You don't now. You know, to see cigarette butts in an ashtray now is kind of foreign.
You know what? I hate the smell of the ashtray when it's in soapy water.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know a lot of people that's like that. Yeah. But think about that, how that phenomenon is not around no more, really.
Right.
You know, whether it be because of vaping and all this other good stuff that's going on, you know, is another argument within itself. But to really look at it, time shifts. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, 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 yep. What if cleaning items is your thing? And you know, what does a top of a Windex bottle look
Oh, yeah.
like? Yeah, just think about the things that surround you that makes you you. You know, everybody has keys in their pocket, so that's why we started there. You know what I mean? But the question would be, would you put a cell phone in there? It used
Yep.
you would put a pager there.
Yeah. Remember those days, y'all?
Yeah, SkyTel, all those things still work, but you know, it's not popular. But it's for the real true business persons. But remember those days when everybody would have one of those things in their pocket, jumping and vibrating around.
For sure.
Yeah. So now it's, you know, all in one in your phone,
Mm-hmm.
tablet.
Everything's in your phone.
Yeah, well, you can use your tablet as a phone too. It's just that a lot of people don't do it. That's an extra fee, basically, to use your tablet as a phone. That's how I got this one.
Uh-huh.
that I'm streaming and recording on, I have a separate payment that I have to do. So it has its own, access to the internet.
Right. So
Yeah.
you make Wi-Fi calls.
Yeah, if I turn that part of the access on, yeah, I can make phone calls and all that good stuff. Regular phone calls too. It's just about just getting the chip
Right.
at that point, and then paying for more memory.
That's where they get you.
Well, yeah, you pretty much don't have no choice in the matter after you think about it and look at it. Because
Yeah.
if you want, to have the bigger device so you can do more, video calls, then of course you're going to want your tablet, or you're going to want to have the higher end, phone. So which one is easy to do? A lot of people just get both devices, like how I did. You get a pretty decent phone and you get a tablet that you can have that access possibly too if you wanted to. Yeah. For me, because what I found out is when you use one phone or something as a hotspot, depending upon what your plan is, you may have a lot more lag. So if you remember some of those videos, Nadine, when we was doing that,
Oh yeah.
having that small lagging issue, that was because I was doing the hotspot, opposed to what I got going on now, which is paying for a separate access for your tablet to be a phone or its own Wi-Fi device.
That happened for me when I was going live in the van.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting a lag.
Mm-hmm.
That was a real issue.
Mm-hmm. A lot of times it'd be something just as simple as that. It's just that what you're asking your devices to do, you may not have the memory space for, or you didn't pay enough for the data space
Yeah.
that they're requiring you to be able to have that, ability to do what it is that you wanted to do. Streamline.
Streaming live.
If not, that's when all the lagging and stuff comes in. Man, why my stuff keep on, lagging and stopping and stuttering and sputtering and all this good stuff? It's access.
Yeah.
But yeah, what else you got, everybody? What other things in there? And if you want it all lined, then start saying what the wrappers and the labels look like on things.
Yeah. I put a lifesaver in there. Like the candy.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You just have to remember what these things look like if you don't have them exactly in your pocket right now.
Yeah, I had that. That was
Like,
from memory.
yeah, when I get back over there, I'm gonna put some Hershey's Kisses up there. I like Hershey's Kisses.
Ooh. Oh yeah, you're right. You
You see what
taking
I'm
us there.
That's why I be trying to be so impulsive, Nadine. I know it sounds like I was a sourpuss. I was just trying to hold back so that when we do find an idea, we can let it go like this. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I love it when it goes like this. I just feel I don't know. I feel like we're on a journey. We're on a creative journey.
Yeah. And it's like you're with us online and you're getting some type of, coaching, but really you're using what's around you in your space right now. While you're even when you look at the re-recording, everybody, and you look at the recording, and we appreciate you for that. And even when you do it there, just go through, look in your environment around you, see the things that make you you. You may have the bins with the 600 series bins with the little funny key, and the other ones that don't even have a key now. It's all Wi-Fi.
Right.
So your key might look different. You know what I mean? It might look like a little USB, port. You know what I mean? So think about what's in your pocket nowadays, everybody. And then how that makes you, you.
Right.
Because, I'm not going to have what Nadine has in her pockets
For
if she
sure.
has a if she had pockets on today.
I don't have any pockets. But even if I had a purse, you wouldn't have the same thing. I mean,
Oh, but Paul, Don won't have a purse though.
oh yeah, I know. Although man purses are the in thing right now.
Have a backpack or a satchel.
Right.
I'm gonna stop there. I'll land my plane there.
You're landing your plane there. Okay.
Merce is not me. I don't look at the Merce.
A
And then what's the other one, that the fanny pack? I don't look at the
fanny
fanny.
pack.
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
all right. Well, I have dawned on a fanny pack, and it does work when you're out there, say gardening or out doing stuff where you can pull things out rather quickly.
Oh no, I'm with you. I'm not against those things. I just saying that's not me. That's all.
Mhm,
That's what I try to tell people. No, I'm not against them. No, man. I remember when I was in school in the fashion department, when you're learning fashion and they're telling you how to design things and utilities for a man and what does a man or a woman need, and that's when you get into all that type of stuff.
mhm,
So I had that training too, but you do that for yourself. Like I've made patterns for backpacks and stuff like that that I needed and wanted. Didn't have the money to go and like go to one of the stores and have somebody make it. So
mhm.
you make it yourself. You know. So the next thing is to do another one for the way that I move around now, to have it where I can carry something that maybe, because I'm a big guy, I can carry something 36 by 48
Mhm.
as like a backpack. You know what I mean? Yeah. I like bags like that so that when I'm doing tables and things like that, I don't have to go through a whole rigmarole about a car at that point. I can
Mhm.
transportation and throw it on my back, literally. You know? So I don't know. I was just looking kind of okay. I'm looking for it. But think about different things you can add to everybody. Anything else is um, pockets, possible. Or whatever in your world you want to that's in your room, right there around you.
Yeah, I need some ideas. Let me see.
All right, we already did pins. How about scissors? You use scissors. I've seen scissors in your studio space.
Yes.
I use scissors, but this one I wanted to be about what's coming out of my pocket. You see what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So yours can be a blend of what's coming out of your pocket and what's immediately around you in your favorite room or favorite space. Like, see how you can change the idea, everybody? You can go from room to room with this idea. Now, of course, the bedroom probably be a little bit different. You know what I
Right.
mean? We are adults though, but it is Sunday, so I have to be mindful. But
Yes.
you can have your high cut, underwear varieties, your boxer briefs, things like this, and I'll land my plane there. No
Yes.
diddy.
Yes.
Now anything else that you would have in your bedroom or your kitchen and things like this, each drawing can be an idea. You can use this idea like that. So that's a
Mhm.
suggestion I give to teachers in behavioral sciences and things like that. Whereas if an idea seems boring, all right, switch up the whole theme of the idea. Don't change the template, change the theme. All right,
Mhm.
change it from being what's in your pocket to what's in your bathroom.
Oh.
Yeah, you see how that changes up? Because now we have to talk about hygiene. Toothbrushes, toothpaste, louvers,
Mhm.
wash brushes, different types of soap containers.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you a funny story. Y'all,
Okay, for
yeah, this is a funny story, y'all. I don't even know if I need to do this on camera or not. So I'm rushing off because I have a little weekend gig, right? And because you need to make a little extra cash. And so I come home And my poor old housemate, God knows it. I don't know. I hope he didn't see it. I rushed out to go to work and left my underwear in the bathroom.
Ooh, ooh.
And there it was when I came home, still in the bathroom.
Yeah. So
You talking
maybe
about?
maybe he seen it and stepped over it. Said that's her problem. You know what I mean?
But the thing was, I said, Nadine, don't leave your underwear in here. I remember saying that. And it was I mean, it was a clean pair of underwear I was supposed to be putting on. Anyway, it was on top of the radiator.
Plain there, right there, right there. Because there's too many other connotations that come behind that now. Now, what happened when you left? Now, did you leave the same pair on? Did you, you know?
Well, no, I just grabbed another pair. I don't know. This is what happens when you get older. I was rushing.
That's funny. You
But
took a clean
anyway,
pair that
these
you left
things,
on the floor, went back in the room, got another pair, threw everything on, and just ran out.
yeah. Mhm.
Forgot
And
all about the other pair. Too
got
fun.
all about, and this is what happens when you get older. But my poor housemate, I haven't even said anything to him yet. I just happened to go there. I was just like, oh my goodness.
Let's say you just stall that one out.
Yeah, I just put it
That one
in.
out to see if you know what I mean. Because you know may not want to embarrass you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and when you're younger, you would be even more embarrassed. But now that I'm older, it's like, what other stupid things can I do that I can just laugh at myself? You know?
Yeah, that's the only thing you can laugh at because I know younger people that do that. So, that's why I was about to say I take the age off it that you're older. This is something that all human beings do at every age. I've gone to, friends' houses and stuff, and you go in the bathroom, you're like, whoa, okay, somebody must have forgot they was gonna have company, or am I considered family over here? You see?
I just know I was just, Lord have mercy, Nadine.
Too funny.
Yeah.
Ah,
So anyway,
if
you
you
know,
live,
y'all are
finish your
art fam. Y'all are art fam. I gave you my little real story because this is life. Yes, that was funny. And these are the things that you find around the house. So if you're going to be drawing stuff from in your bathroom, maybe you don't put your underwear in it.
I mean, you may have to though if that's your
They
life
have
in
to.
your bedroom. That's what this is about. Like I would say, whatever the function or the energy is in that room, that's what you're gonna make symbols of.
Okay, so like boxers or briefs,
Right. I mean,
thongs. Hey, you could do a whole thing on different kinds of underwear
yeah. See how the idea can go.
as a drawing.
This is what I'm saying. See how the ideas can go just off of having accumulation or the idea of things being, I would say, chaotic in front of a human being. Things dealing with
Yeah.
a whole lot of overlaps. You take
Yeah,
that and place it upon and have a different theme for it. It's a lot of different things that can come out.
that is so true.
We're just talking about memory now. You know what I mean? Walking through your space and sitting in a space and choosing space. Imagine if you choose your dining room, living room. Like, cause
Right.
some not just if you don't have a house, you may not have a separate dining room.
Right.
You may have a dining room slash living room
Hmm.
or dining room slash family room. You see what I'm saying? Depending upon what your situation.
Right.
But nonetheless, it's a space. So if you take the idea in your pad and your pencil or your marker in there and you say, okay, I'm just going to think about this room. What are the symbols of me in this room? And you look around at the curtains, the different shapes of the curtains, the different types of curtains. Because you wouldn't use the same curtains in the bathroom that you would use in your living room.
No. Yeah.
And you use the same ones in your bedroom. Now you might use the ones in your living room and your bedroom, depending upon how you're living.
Hmm.
But generally speaking, these different spaces have all different attire. When it goes in all different dresses,
Hmm.
different themes, different items, different trinkets, different shapes.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? The only thing that may be similar in all of those is a box of tissues.
Oh, yeah.
And that's if you have a box of tissues in your living room and in your other rooms. Some people, they don't have a, but I've been to people's house where they have a box of tissues and toilet tissue in the bath.
Yeah. Because, maybe you're wiping off the makeup or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I see what you're saying.
Yeah. And then I've been in some situations where, it's just a roll of toilet tissue there.
Woo!
They're saying that's an all-in-one situation for you right there.
Can I say something else?
Sure.
I was in Stockholm, Sweden.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Wait, let me get it together. Uh, I was in Stockholm, Sweden,
Uh-huh.
and they really care about the environment. They
Okay.
care about it so much that even their toilet paper is natural. Like, I don't know what material they got that toilet paper from, but that was some rough toilet paper.
Wow. All right, it will be rougher than using the brown hand wipe paper that you see in public bathrooms, and
I felt it was rougher.
it was rougher than that.
I
Wow,
felt it was rougher than that.
wow,
Mhm.
that's that's really dangerous.
Yeah, but and so that was the paper that was in the apartment hotel. So it got better
Hold
when
on, Nate.
Mhm.
Just to pause for a second. What was the flushability of that tissue?
Oh, it went down.
Okay, all right.
It went down. Mhm. But then the water was very intense. It
Meaning,
wasn't like a soft flush or whatever. I felt like it would suck you in almost.
oh, okay, different vacuum type of situation than in
Yeah.
America.
But that was just me. I just thought, whoo, this is a
Like
little
something.
bit rougher than I'm used to. There was a lot of things that I found really interesting, but that was one that was memorable. Mhm.
Okay, but
The
this is
roughness of the paper.
But this is the stuff we're talking about. Now you have another thing that you can talk about. You know what I'm saying? And these
Rough
type
toilet paper.
the type of toilet paper, and then add the color to it so you really can show that it's really rougher than
Mhm.
cottonelle or Scotch.
Mhm. Yes, because I don't even think it was a like a pure white color, but it wasn't a brown color. It
No,
was
it was a
just
natural color. I know what you're talking about. I haven't used it, but I've seen it. You know what I mean? And it's
Mhm.
like, wow, that's really that's natural. You know, now that's
I felt that was really natural.
natural.
And there were other things that I thought was really interesting when you went to the market and you would go to the section where you would get the meat.
Hmm.
They would wrap it in more of a like the paper brown bag material.
Yeah, that's what we used to do here. If you
Used
go to
to
the
do
Grand
that,
Terminal,
remember?
they do that.
And South Philly. There was
Yeah,
like a butcher in South Philly that I would go to.
yeah, they
Right.
use old school technique. Even when you get your hoagies, they use that brown wax paper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's their standard that was brought over with when, in the beginning of everything here in America.
Mm-hmm.
That's when, they would use those papers like that, and that's how it transitioned through time, and then boom, you know what I mean? Here we are, present time, still using that theorem, that idea.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it obviously has to work because we still wrap sandwiches and steak and certain types of meats that you'll get from the market. Yeah, even here, they'll wrap it that way. Put that big piece of masking tape on there. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah,
Yeah. It was really, interesting, different things. So, textures. You start recognizing different textures and stuff.
yeah.
That maybe you don't really think about it in a every day, but
Well,
then to
because
be,
you got to look at the differences, though, Nadine. You're looking at a Western idea, and then you're looking at a European idea.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by the differences on how these drawings could work, because I guarantee you, if you went in somebody's living room in Europe where you was at, right,
Mhm.
you might find similar things in our decor, but you might find things that's not in our decor in
Mhm.
their particular living room or open space or
Mhm.
community space. No?
Yeah, no, I mean, even just the tables or whatever.
I mean, then just look at, were you near train stations by chance?
Oh my God, I rode the trains. I rode the subway, metro, buses.
Yep. So then what's the
And,
differences between a Western idea, an American idea of that, you being from the Mid-Atlantic region,
Mhm.
you see? And then what was the differences? Was it more like a rail line type of situation every time you did public transportation there? What was the difference?
Yeah, it was a combination. Uh,
Right.
it, yeah, definitely the faster trains that were like suburban trains, like the Trenton suburban train or um and
Echo
then like
line.
Amtrak, Patco, that kind of thing. You would notice subtle differences in the comfort of the chairs,
Okay.
right down to, places to put your luggage. Um and someone on the train, to serve coffee and tea, and restrooms. And the restrooms that were outfitted that opened up like a circle for people with wheelchairs.
Mm.
I mean, it was deep. And then what was the other thing? The roads, everybody was on a bicycle, so they had lanes um and when you go to the corner, you had to not only look at the cars, but you also had to look out for the bicycles in their bicycle lanes, which were alongside of the sidewalk.
Okay.
And they had drawings that said, this is the bicycles, this is where the bicycles are going to be. And every
Hmm.
now and then, if you forget, somebody's yelling at you,
Hmm.
you're in the wrong lane.
Hmm. Not that intense in Philadelphia yet, because everybody that's riding a bike don't stay in the bike lane.
Mhm.
That's our issue here.
What was the other thing? And now also that's really big is those scooters, those electric scooters where you just stand
Hmm.
and they have like a little brake thing. You just stand and everybody's like,
Yeah, hoverboards and the those things that the tourists do here. It's not
yes,
really popular here, but the tourists do it here.
yeah, it's really popular there. The ones that, you plug in, they're scooters with handles.
Yeah,
They're skateboards with handles with brakes.
yeah. So it's
Okay.
basically, a trike.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
there was a lot of that. That was a lot more common. You saw scooters and stuff like that, but you know,
Hmm.
par for the course.
That's the whole thing for based upon what we're talking about, something from nothing. Look at the opportunities you have to use this idea of simplification and a linear idea of finding something to do image wise, and how
Mhm.
you can take this simple idea and then transform it based upon wherever you've been at that point.
Mhm.
You know, you just talked about different spaces, the bathrooms, and the funny story about the toilet tissue. But if you look at those are funny templates for a visual story,
Mhm.
and that's coming from something from nothing. Because if you didn't have the experience, would you be able to talk about it to be able to do the drawing?
Right.
So
Yeah.
you're pulling, yeah, you're pulling from your own experience. You know,
Mhm.
it's something, you know what I mean? And it can be seen as nothing until you finish the experience and got back. And then you start doing what you're doing now to be able to assess, was that really a something event that I went through, or was it nothing? And all that good stuff.
Mhm.
Either which way, it's still a fun opportunity to take your experiences and do something like this with. And then you don't have to per se be an absolute artist. Everybody worries about that. Oh, I'm not really an artist. My kids are, or no, my cousin is an artist, or oh, my brother is an artist. He does that. No, everyone's an artist. It's just who's going to sit there and be the only joke in your own story. You know, who cares if your key doesn't look like it really can go into a lock, but does it take off the expression of a key? You know,
Right.
that's all it's about. Could you go over top of some of them? Yeah, but we wanted to challenge ourselves to make it seem like we're filling in the negative spaces. You see?
Mm-hmm.
So don't forget about that part of the idea. Whereas you're going in between the spaces that you've made now and trying to make these items or these symbols that you're making that's from your world that says this is you in that world. And then doing things like what I just did here. It was a bunch of negative space here and here, you see. Now I'll come in here and I'll make believe like a paintbrush is coming in here. And
Mm-hmm.
since I made one already, I'll make another fan brush and make it take up that whole little bit of the area right there, you see?
Nice.
Some lines to say what the fibers are doing there. Make them look a little bit different than the brush that's here. So you can control the texture work too as well of the piece. You see? So it can just keep going and going. I'll turn it again since we have some more time. Turn mine again before we get back to the right side up. Oh no, we was just that right side up. So I'm just gonna turn it one more time this way, and then I'll turn it back the right side up the normal way. You know? And you just take and start dropping your shapes in, everybody that you made. And then after you get accustomed to the shapes you make, and then you can really just zip them in. You know? Make one or two a little bit more angular. Remember, each key that has a different shape has a different purpose. If you want to check it, check your old ring of keys, and you can see the key for your car, the key for your house, and the key for your mailbox is going to be three different types of keys. Some of you may have more than that, You may have your gym locker key. You may have the key to the lock to your bike. You know what I mean? All these keys are going to look different. Because my key from my lock for the bike is like a big black plastic square. And then it has like these for the unlocking mechanism. It has a groove in the middle with a couple of swerves in the middle. And sometimes if you're an artist that really likes to do something like always, like how I had to, like how I just did the Carmela and the Trump piece. Sometimes what I do is I do pieces like this just to loosen up for me, just to free my mind up and to have fun. You know what I mean? Like real just fun, just to put shapes down and to challenge myself to see how many different shapes that I have in my world that I can use. Are there more? Yeah, there are more, but for the purposes of what we're talking about now, for our Let's Paint and Draw Along, everybody, this is pretty cool to do. And that's the whole purpose of the something from nothing. I don't want to block the screen too much. I know sometimes I'll block the screen, I don't know it, and I don't be paying attention. So,
It looks pretty good.
That's pretty good. I'm not blocking it.
No, if you are on the left side as you're drawing, you're not blocking it.
Okay, cool. Oh, when I pull back, right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. But yeah, that's my right side up one. And then if I felt finished with this, then I would just sign my name right here. Could you sign it now? Yeah, I could sign it now if I wanted to. I'll take it right off the pen that's here. Let's see, done deal. I remember one drawing I did like this. I tried to make it seem like it was a continuous line that came from my signature. So I
Oh,
purposely
cool.
started signature and then started doing a line for everything. It didn't stop the movement, just went into each one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just with
Oh,
one line.
that's super cool.
Yeah, like an etch a sketch idea.
Yeah.
You know, could I sell this? Yeah, packaged up a lot of my things that I've done like this, and because you don't know who's gonna like what. Then if I refine it, not make it perfect, if I refine the movements in the next one I do, give it more clarity, make lines stronger, then it can possibly be something for a tapestry
Mhm.
or for wallpaper or for notebooks, you know? See how you go to the store and you see a design on a notebook that you're gonna buy and all the pages are blank though?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a licensure deal. Somebody got that, but now you would have to question that because is that AI then? You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's a challenge, but it's still worthwhile to do a drawing like this, everybody. Even really just for the exercise of dumping things out of the mind.
Dumping
Sometimes,
things out of the mind. I like that.
yeah, because sometimes it's not all about trying to make a dollar. You know what I mean? This is the psychiatric aspects of it.
Mm.
Whereas can art be therapy? Yeah. Imagine if I said to you, whatever's bothering you, can you pull the symbols from what's bothering you and just put it down multiple times on the page?
Mhm.
I've done this with people and it works. It really helps people to de-escalate, to work out an idea or a thought, you know. And the main thing is that as long as they're not being judged, so you
Mm.
can't judge, that's when it's no wrong, no right. It's purely coming out of the person. You just gave an idea or a thought on how to get it out. Now, when it comes out, you can't ridicule it because it may never come out again, you know?
Wow.
Yeah, that's the power of art as a therapy.
Mhm.
It's a lot of different ones, but I'm just talking about the symbolic, the hand and eye thing, and memory.
Mhm.
hmm So for any age, this is great. You know what I mean? If you're an elder, 50 and over, or 60 and over, you can deal with things from your past. Like what's the differences between your bedroom from when you was in your 20s and now you're in your 60s? What are
Oh,
the different items you have that wouldn't be in there no more, or wouldn't be in there if you was 20?
20? Okay.
Like around the time when you first got your first apartment. So you know what I mean. I'm gonna say in between like 24 and like 29. Because
Oh
some
yeah,
people,
I probably had a lava lamp.
you see what I'm saying? That you wouldn't have that in your bedroom right now, would you?
No, no.
That's what I mean. Like, so see how this idea can help in different situations as far as memory is concerned,
Mm-hmm.
and the fun of having a memory like that. Because that's what I do with the elders in the class that I do over at Homelink.
Mm-hmm.
If you see some of the sessions that I'll take pictures of and show those, you'll see somebody sent me a comment like, I can't really see what they're trying to do. I said, well, that's the whole point. You know what I mean? Because they're not trying to do anything specific for you. They're doing it specifically for them at that
Mm-hmm.
moment. And whether you see it or not is not the issue. The issue is that me as a centennial, I can choose not to do this at any time. Like I got two centennials in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And every now and then she'll do something big, but then all the time, yeah, I love her to death though. She's doing something small all the time. So if we do something trying to remember things, she
Mm-hmm.
loves cabbage and things like that. So she'll put small cabbages, round little cabbages on the bottom of the page. Too cute, too funny, man. And she'll look up and say, "Is that right now, baby?" And I
Yeah.
say, "No, ma'am. If that's how small your cabbage are, it's okay. But you know and I know if we went to a farm and saw cabbage that small, we would say that's Brussels sprouts." And the whole room fell out laughing because everybody remembered what Brussels sprouts. So you see, you gotta,
Yeah.
see how that symbology, that drawing of a small cabbage evokes an idea and thought and brings back a memory. and then soothe at the same time through conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a beautiful thing, everybody. I would say use it amongst yourselves. If you have younger people around you, heck, if you have a group of people around you, they acting like they don't want to socialize. All right,
Mm-hmm.
make everybody turn off their devices or put it on vibrate. Or
Mm-hmm.
get in a room and do like a Pictionary situation. Instead of for doing Pictionary though, you're having a session like this.
Mm-hmm.
Saying, I want everybody to have an art session. So we're gonna do symbols. Do the symbols that's important in your life. Right there, right on the spot. I've done that one before, and that got a whole room to start talking to one another. Because now you didn't you find out somebody over here put in a Yankee symbol, then somebody else put in a Yankees Mets symbol. Now, two sides of the room that didn't know they was fans together are fans together.
Right.
All off for a simple, rudimentary, crazy looking, non-perfect drawing.
Mm-hmm.
And because you had to share that with the person next to you, fill in more of the space, Nadine. Make them really look like they overlapping, like you cut one in half because one is on top. So
Okay.
really do it underneath. You may just see a couple of lines of the pencil. I don't know. You may just see the brush head of the brush that you may be putting in there. You
Mm-hmm.
see what I'm saying? Now you're getting to the point where you're filling in space now. Turn the page again. If it seems like it's getting too, like you're not seeing nothing, that's when
Yeah.
you turn the page.
Okay.
Because you may see a space that you didn't see on a side angle. Like if I was to turn this one, you would see it different and see different spaces, negative spaces that you can take advantage of.
Okay.
Then turn it again until you get to the point where it's soothing to you or it's making a statement for you. You see, that's
Mm-hmm.
the important thing, everybody. You're not trying to match what I've done on the screen or what Nadine has done on the screen. You're not trying to match us. What you're trying to do is use the template of the idea, the thought, the notion to have that springboarded drawing for you
Mm-hmm.
out of nowhere. These sessions are like, say, for instance, you have no ideas, no thoughts, but you want to do something. Because it started off with us talking about doodling, everybody, and what a doodle is, like how when you're just doodling in the dentist's office or the doctor's office before they call you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go back to our first ones, we was having conversations like that, and that's pretty much what fostered our idea, Nadine and I, of bringing it out as something from nothing. Based upon just basic doodling and what you would do if you was just had a tissue in your hand and you were just sitting there waiting for somebody and you had a pen in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where the idea comes from, everybody. So now the something for nothing, that's ours.
Right.
But the whole idea of pooling something from your experiences around you is not ours, you know what I mean? But an idea or derivative of calling it something from nothing, yeah, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Let's paint and draw a long way, yeah. Just think about it. It could be very soothing. You see how calm Nadine is. She's not anxietied out about what to put on the page.
Nope.
You just like, where can I put this? Oh, I want to put something else. What else can I put in my world? Like I put my SEPT card in there. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And I was gonna put the Patco card and the Riverline card
Mm-hmm.
because those are in my pocket. Think about it. Your bank card. Yep. Your supermarket card for your discounts. Whether you have it on your keychain or not is another issue. So you can make a keychain one, the little oblong rectangular shape, curved rectangular shape with a keyhole in it. You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to put, if you don't want to, you don't have to put the design of it on there and everything, everybody. I'm not saying that, but those of you that are like my Mavericks out there that want to go that deep, or those of you that are professional artists and you're saying, man, I need a little bit more to go, then hey man, go in deeper then. Put the
Mm-hmm.
design of the package that may be in your pocket. Challenge yourself that way. What absolutely does the key look like? What's the name brand of the key? Is it Champion? Who is it? You know what I mean? Is there any numbers stamped on the key. You see? What are some things you can really go deep in to pull out different ideas? Or could you keep it as simple as what we did today? So that affects your skill base, everybody, or your ambitions or your intent. My intent was to give you a simple symbolic idea of the suggestion of pulling something from nothing, because the way we pulled it out today from conversation and started talking about Nadine's adventure, and then just start talking about just general things out coming out the pocket, and then boom, we made up a whole adventure, a challenge. You know, and for all my teachers and therapists and session leaders and stuff, use the idea, everybody, because you'd be shocked at the things you can get in a session with a person based upon them having a moment just to draw out, and you can't judge it now. You know, that's the whole thing. You don't judge it, you just try to identify, so that when the person does something, you give them hints like what we talked about. Well, if you don't know what's personal to you, then what's in your pocket right now, or what's in your purse right now, you see, or what's in your merce right now. You know what I mean? Do you have to pull it all out? Just tell the person, no, you don't have to pull it all out if it's personal. But just think about what's in there, what makes you. And we're going to make this drawing from nothing, or from something that appears to be nothingness, but it's from you. Or if a person's in crisis, you know what I mean? I've done it in those scenarios too. And you get a lot of dramatic, expressive pieces that help to pull out an idea, a thought, something that's latent, something that occurred. I had a person one time when he was doing one of these drawings remember an incident to the T, just from doing a simple drawing like this, because the power of the mind in symbols is incredible, everybody. Think about it, your whole world is symbolic.
Yeah.
Your whole world is symbolic. Everything that's in the room around you is symbolic. And you just got to understand it and work with it. Or you can keep it where it's at in your mind and just move on forward and act like nothing occurred today.
Right.
you know,
It was
just
nothing.
yeah, just use us for background chit chatter at that point, and keep it moving. I'm not mad at you if you do that. There is no wrong, there is no right. There's only intent and content. So, if that was your intent, just to have background noise, I'm glad to be the background noise that you picked. You know, I heard you chuckle, Nadine. That was a good one, right?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. I tell people that too. That's centennials or they over 90 in the room with me when I'm doing the classes. I tell them the same thing, man. I'm glad you chose me to spend the rest of your time with. You know what I'm saying? Because, you're a centennial. I don't know what's going on, but you look strong today and you came to see me.
Yeah.
Now look at all that excitement on your page, Nadine. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's
Don't
a lot going on now.
right, don't be afraid of the edge. Act like half of the brush is there, you
Mm-hmm.
know? What would half of those items look like if they was just coming into your scene? How do you want to deal with your edge, you see?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
you
I'm
was
not
trying
dealing
to
with it.
avoid the edge. That's the whole other thing too, trying to avoid the edge. But then sooner or later, you're going to have to penetrate that edge, that negative space that you made that's on the edge. So it forces you to have to deal with negative space and how to fill it, how to make it interesting. You see?
Yeah.
Imagine you can start coming back in and doing like an ES Escher type of thing, start messing with the shadows and seeing where the shadows are in there. You see what I'm saying? It can get deep, man. Come back with your watercolor set. Start off real pale at the edges and then start making it more of a richer color as you get towards the center of the piece.
Mm-hmm.
These are all the different ideas or thoughts that you can have when you're doing a piece. Generally standards, if you look at everybody's artwork throughout the world and throughout the histories of beings making things, it's pretty much we're dealing with the same type of things, crossovers, overlaps, you know what I mean? accumulation, subtraction, negative space, positive space, you know, the movement in the form of shapes and forms. Yeah. To the nonsensical, to the, objective, to something that tells a story. Think about it. I can say, well, everybody, let's go back to Paleolithic man, and we're saying we're all Paleolithic man. And now we're going to use petroglyphs, cave painting lines. What are those? The same ones you just used, except for we're not using modern day shapes now.
Mm-hmm.
You would have to simplify all your shapes. I did this one with kids. It's pretty fun to do because the kids that didn't know how to really draw had the best time with it.
Oh.
And the kids that really wanted to show you that they can make a rabbit had a hard time with it because they could not simplify real easy because they wanted that ambition to want to show that I can draw a rabbit was so intense.
Mm-hmm.
But the kids that didn't really have skills to that point to do this type of drawing and do that I did, it was nothing, you know what I mean? So they did all types of like caveman stuff and had fun with it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Made cavemen fighting and stuff, all that type of good stuff. But
Right.
that's helping you to get something out, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
How would you say, beginnings of self, you're going back to that childhood stage where you had a marker or a crown in your hand and you just scribbled and you looked up at everybody and said, that's what it is. And then everybody looked at you and said, what? And then somebody nudged somebody else and said, oh, yeah, that's great. That's not a bad thing, everybody. If I wouldn't have got that, I wouldn't be here. I'll put it to you like that, everybody. You got to ask yourself, did Don get some of those sessions where somebody would do that when he was younger? Yeah, because I looked at some of my drawings I did, even though they was pretty much, observant, sometimes it went off in its own direction.
Right.
And then people would say, well, what that was, and I would say it, and then, it wouldn't, no ridicule would come down. I guess they would laugh afterwards after they would have a glass of yak or wine or a shot of this when I would leave the room, it's our notes, and you leave it there boldly with them, like, yeah, that's what I did,
Right.
you know. Well, I can tell when I got good, but what I'm saying is like everybody has to go through that type of experience where, you're saying you're doing something and everybody has to, because of your age, they have to look at you and go, oh, no, hey, man. Oh, okay, yeah, that's real exciting,
That's funny.
Yeah, it's bad what we do as humans, but it is beautiful at the same time. Because if it wasn't done on me, you have to question, would I be doing this boldly the way that I'm doing?
Right.
You know? So that's what I tell people to look at,
Mm-hmm.
because if I didn't, say if I was a musician and I was playing the horn and I played a riff for, an uncle or a room full of everybody at a birthday party, and I stopped like it was like
Yeah.
see, you starting to laugh already, you see? Because you must have been in situations like that, like somebody got up and started singing.
And then stop cold turkey.
Right, like they did something hot, you know what I'm
You're
saying?
like, "Blah, blah, blah."
Yeah, and then everybody has to clap. They go,
Oh, yeah, oh, great.
okay, all right, hey, all right, yeah. Oh man, like I've been in a situation like that with the art when I was younger. And I've been in situations when I'm older, and now you have to be there because somebody invited you to a party. Somebody's kid or teenager gets up that's going to some type of school or having lessons somewhere, and they get to playing the violin, the horn. They get to presenting artwork. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it's hard not to look at somebody and say, "I know your kid traced that, man, but I'm not going to steal his light right now." We're not going to do that to him. He's, the reasoning is to uplift him. You can tear him down later on. Like, now, look, man, we had some people in the room that said, you traced this. You have to be honest with us. You know, they let you live during the party, but now they ask us to ask you, and to look in your room and to see if we could see if you, yeah. I had to expose some kids that way, man. You know, it's unfair. Don't do that, man. You're tracing the manga rather than drawing the manga. Okay.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? That's my thing.
Mm.
Because I know when I was younger, we drew it. No matter how it came out, we drew it.
Mhm.
If it didn't look like the Hulk, we would tell you right there at the cafeteria table, yo, man, that's not the Hulk, man. I don't know what that is. Yeah.
I don't know what you trying to draw.
Yep, and your friends or your peers is gonna be more brutal than anybody, you know what I'm saying?
What were you trying to do here?
Yeah, or you think you all that. That don't even look like the Wolverine, man. What Wolverine is that? You know what I mean? I remember, man, like, oh man.
And they'll tease you and give you all kinds of bamboo, the monkey looking such and such and such
Man, you know
wannabe.
people cracking jokes, man. Because
Yep.
I went to school in New York, so if you're an inner city public school kid, you understand what I'm saying, everybody. If you was in a urbanized or in a suburban school that was in an area that was predominantly seen as slated as an urban type idea,
Mhm.
then you understand what I'm talking about. You had a lot of jokesters in the rooms with you, especially in the cafeteria and in the gym. So
Mhm.
if you can remember those jokester guys, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got people like that, and they'll be looking at your work like, man, you think you all that? Like, what color is that? Why'd you put that with that? Yo, man, you need to get better markers, man. Tell your mom to get you like cold blooded, man, cold blooded. But that's what makes, that the artist in the American scene, and that's what builds character and all that other good stuff. But look at the opportunity. I look at now how you're starting to permeate and break that barrier on the edge now. You figured out how to deal with it.
Mhm.
What shape, what item did you choose to make to break the the power of the edge, the buffer around the edge? Or, do you like the way it's buffered around the edge? But
Mm.
sometimes you can make it seem like that was the jump off point. Then everything
Okay.
moves from that point upward and outward. Because now you can see we don't want to hear anybody say that they can't do an abstract piece now.
Right. There's no reason why.
Right. Now this is an objective abstractive piece, or we can call it a figurative, expressive, or symbolic piece. Yes. It's not non-objective, meaning that we have identifiable items here.
Mhm.
That's the whole point of me saying that, everybody. So, abstraction a lot of times is not just these, items that, are, how would you say, non-objective.
Mhm.
Sometimes you can take objective items and just use accumulation, or crossing out or overlapping, you know what I mean, as an idea to get to an abstracted or fractal space idea. And I'm only saying this now to make it sound scientific. So it'll be a little bit more appealing to those that need that type of terminology. Yeah.
Some people need to feel they're being taken on a journey.
Yeah, you know the deal, Nadine. Sometimes I like clowning that too much, you know what I mean? It's like, because I see it as every day is a journey.
Yep. And it
I'm,
never ends.
yeah, I may use this idea for something else. I may
Mhm.
have somebody that needs an illustration or something, and I can use this idea with it. You see what I mean?
Mhm.
If I did this 8.5 by 11, everybody, I could scan it in my tabletop scanner, scan it into the computer, make it black and white image, and then clean up the lines and then make it an SVG image or a vector image, and then
Mhm.
I can use it for merchandise.
Mhm.
Yeah. So these are some of the things you're going to see coming up soon from Don Art or Don Stevens Art pop up Printify page. Is taking drawings like this because I got to show you guys. Some of you are like, because I've had people say it to me, well, how come you haven't done that? It's like, well, wow. So you have to see everything in works before you can participate. Okay, all right, that's a challenge to me then. I
Okay.
didn't take it as a disrespect. I took it as a challenge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's like, all right, then I'll do the same thing. I can take the picture of this idea like how I do, and then play with the contrast and the saturation and make it a black
Mm-hmm.
and white image and play with the white scale. And boom, we have a linear line equation that can be applied to the front of books, on mugs,
Mm-hmm.
on mouse pads, on phones. You see? The whole problem then is advertisement. How are you going to get people to gravitate to want to buy and purchase those items from
Right.
you? And that's the whole challenge, man. And now I'm figuring out everybody that challenge is nothing more than paying the right outlets to stream from, basically.
Yeah. And they're getting more intense
Yeah,
as the time goes on. Um, yeah.
it's hard to deal with
Yeah, it is.
because you got Facebook, you got Instagram, you got all these other ones, TikTok and everything else. But then they
Yeah.
all have their own means of how do you advertise on them, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the TikTok is a little bit more freer. And then that other one that you're on, that we're on.
Yeah.
To be
So,
able to open enough that it's not, controlled based upon algorithms that much.
mm-hmm. Wow. Can I find any more spaces?
Well, now you would just have to go for, the tonality idea now, whether you would go in with lines and say, okay, where are shadows at when I go in between on items? And then
Mm-hmm.
that'll give you a whole nother ESS type of feel.
Right. Ooh.
So if, say for instance, you went behind something and put a little bit of a shadow, what I mean by that is use a couple of extra lines to say that that's a tonality on that surface.
Mm-hmm.
So say for instance, like this pencil is underneath the key. So say
Mm-hmm.
for instance, I put some extra lines in here to put a shadow there. Now I put the shadow on the outside. See what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. This key is over this round shape. So I will put a shadow line there and then now say to further push the idea of that key possibly being over top or in front of that round shape. See?
Mm-hmm.
And you can go around your piece and do different things like that, wherever things are overlapping like that. Come in and put a shadow behind that area some type of way. Make it mimic if the light came across a certain type of way. You see? Like I can put a shadow here, right, on the key. Then I can put a shadow here the opposite way on the brush
Mm-hmm.
or the pencil there, you see?
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like we're moving into space now just because we put a couple of shadow lines. So then you can play with the disparity of the human eye. I could put something else in here underneath here and then say, okay, that's the shadow line from this brush here. That's the shadow line from that pencil there. You see? And now it starts to go deeper. Okay, there's a shadow line for this key on this coin idea here. And then here's a shadow line from that key on the other key.
Mm-hmm.
It's underneath the coin area down here. So we put an extra line over top to make it darker. Do our crosshatching, in other words. See?
Mm-hmm.
And you go around your space and do that everywhere. You see, on this key here, I can put a shadow here. Then I can put a shadow in here. Then I can put a shadow on this part right here on the marker. You see, then the eyes start wanting to read it like it's space. But you see, it's not space.
Mm-hmm.
It's linear space. It's not formal space. It's not depth. It's a two-dimensional piece of paper. But if I keep on playing with the shadows and putting extra things in there and show certain darknesses on things and leave certain things on top a certain way, and when people look, they're gonna be like, wait a minute, is that, yeah, because the human eye wants to make sense out of things. So then you're playing with that sensibility of the human organism to want to make sense out of things. So you can say we're playing and making an optical illusion like the SS.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then you can reinforce it with color, everybody. You know, use warm and cool color combinations, you know, and you would see. No problem whatsoever. That's pretty much it, everybody. That's today's pop-up. Today's pop-up was all about
Wow.
pulling things from nothing. How is your nothingness? How did I say it earlier, Nadine? You said it?
Oh, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, well, the one that stood out was taking time to dump things out of the mind. That was
Okay.
that was a nice one. And perfection is perception. That was another one that was good.
Mhm.
Um, those were the ones I wrote down today.
Okay. Well, really, everybody, is how do we take and make items from your environment or your happenings or interactions and lay them down as a simple symbolic equation. You know, the shape of a bubble gum wrapper that's coming out your pocket or purse. You know,
Ooh,
coin.
I did water taffy.
There you go. See, I did a couple of Hershey Kisses on mine.
I put Hershey Kisses on mine too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see. And then we talked about how the idea can transition from things on your person to things in your surrounding and in things in different parts of your surrounding, in different
Right.
living spaces. And then we talked about how you can apply it from different spaces, considering the different countries or land masses that you're on. Nadine
Mm-hmm.
has traveled and went over to Europe and did her travels there. And she was bringing up some of the differences that she could see and observe based upon our conversation because of our something from nothing conversation.
Yeah.
But then you can have another opportunity, everybody, if you do travel, to say, hey, what are the differences between my home bathroom and that bathroom at my destination that I went to?
Yeah.
With paper towel like Nadine, you
Yeah.
know, you noticing
Woo!
definitely strong difference between I would say, our utensils and our items that we use in the bathroom
Mm-hmm.
have a softer variety.
Softer variety is key.
There it is. That's the American bottom. You
Yeah.
know,
The bottom line.
yeah, you can say that because you saw the difference. You know,
I sure did.
yeah, and
Saw it and felt it.
you're not saying it like it was a reserve. You're saying it like it was plentiful. But like this, no, this is the stock. This is our Cornell. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Right.
So that's how you know it wasn't a reserve tissue. You know what I mean? You know how you can excuse, you know, a situation, oh, maybe they ran out of their good stuff, so they had to put this stuff out, you know what I mean, to have something, you know what I mean? But then you're aware, you probably looked around and was like, no, this is like, look like it's on a regular, it's everywhere, you know?
Yeah.
Then you can allude to other things, like, you know, in certain masses and places, they have a certain different interpretation on what those utensils should be for the bathroom. That's the nicest way we can say it.
It is a pretty nice way to say it. Yes.
Yeah. And good luck to everybody. It's just that's how you can use one of our ideas from Let's Paint and Draw Along. If
Mhm.
you have nothing to do, then you can pull that nothingness from the something that's around you.
All the nothingness.
Yeah,
Just pull it out.
yeah,
Pull it out of the brain.
that's it. Then now you just set wherever you sign your name, that's the anchor point.
Yep.
So that's what's going to say if it's landscape or portrait at that point in this
Mhm.
point. I like yours landscape, Nadine.
I do too. That's why I signed my name down here.
Okay, cool. Bet. I was about to say I wouldn't put that one in portrait. That one looks good right there, like that.
Just like this. Yep.
Yeah,
That's a lot going on.
yeah, man. So
With
who
this
knows
back
what you're gonna do
here.
in the next one? How's the entry in your book gonna look the next time you do more entries in your books and things like this?
Yeah, because I just did a couple of doodles. I think
Yeah, show
I
the
don't think
people.
you were looking when I was presenting them.
No, I wasn't. Unfortunately, I was near the coffee machine, but I didn't want to break it up. Yeah, look at that, and it looks like what you said you wanted it to look like too, like the LED lights.
Yeah, and water droplets, that was one. And then I started this other one that was like I was thinking even more of LED lights.
Mm-hmm.
So I have all these sorry,
I see.
passages
Mm-hmm.
are there. And then this
Next
other
time,
web
the
like
same thing again, and then play with the tonality.
yes, that's what I was thinking. I needed to do tonality.
Next time, play with the ten. When you do another one, or use those two as a template, right? You
Mhm.
would look at those two and see what the strongest, how would you say, movements are, and then
Okay.
replicate off of those two, and then now put the tonality on top that you're seeing.
Yeah, I was thinking the actual LED light would be the strongest and everything else in the back. Sort of like,
Underneath or in between would be darkness or something, or twinkles
yeah,
of light, right? Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna make a note about tonality.
yeah. That's what's going to make it really seem like it's bright lights there. Because
Hmm.
soon as you put those dark, moody colors down, and then you put those high crescendo lights there, it's going to seem like neon.
Yeah, and that was just another thing of just sitting and saying I just need to chill and relax. And I was thinking of um the water, the waterways in Stockholm, because there's over 1,000 islands that make up Stockholm. And that you,
Wow,
yeah, and that it's seawater, it's not river.
wow.
And
Okay.
so you could take the metro, the train, walk over the bridge, go to some of these islands, um, because they're close, and a lot of them are close, right? And or you could take a water ferry or a water taxi, and the water ferries are like metro trains almost. You're just on a ferry,
Okay.
you know. They
Yeah.
run every, I guess you want to say that. You get it, I got a pass, a 7-day pass,
Uh-huh.
and I could use them for just local buses, the metro and local trains. When I had to do connections, I had to pay extra. And the ferry
That's
was
what
included.
you do here. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so that was really cool. I was like with everybody else doing their day, going about their day, kids going to school, taking the ferry. It's
Mm-hmm.
really interesting.
Yeah.
But I'd love to share that. Journey, making the journey, going to different places. It's the same thing I feel as when we do the artwork that we do together here at Let's Paint and Draw Along. It's a journey. You don't have to leave your home to do the journey, but it is nice to get out and experience things, even if it's just taking a walk to the park. And I think that if you don't get anything else out of it, be observant. You know, what was it? Perfection is perception. So don't go around thinking everything's got to be perfect, you know? And then just have fun with making something from nothing. Just empty your pockets out, empty your drawer out, empty your purse out. It all starts from there. Just look what's in your bathroom. We kind of had that conversation. But with that in mind, it is 8:19. I know Don, he's got stuff to do, and we just want you to have a great week and keep creating.
Yeah.
Yay! Keep creating, everybody. Be sure to leave a comment in the comment section what you think about that. If you get something from this today, we want to hear from you. Take care and have a